Okay, are we ready?
Absolutely not.
Perfect.
Welcome to Beauty, Business, and Bullshit, the podcast where two beauty besties talk about business,
client stories, how we make it through the day,
and all the bullshit in between.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Chavaun. Let's get into it.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the Beauty, Business, and Bullshit podcast. Today we thought a fun kind of taboo topic is taking constructive criticism in the industry in general, like how to handle that and like not to be super offended over it. But also like into that, I kind of had a story I wanted to share on like, which is just like a good thing to go through, but like what you present and what you represent in yourself in the beauty industry.
Like looking the part.
Yeah, exactly. Like looking the part. Because I just think like it's such a creative industry that I think that there can be like to an extent no rules, but also like there's some like when you are walking advertisement for yourself, what are you advertising? Right? And also if you're in a group shared space, even if you're all your own businesses and you all have your own individual things, like how is that going to reflect on like somebody walks in like that and what they're going to think about you because this other person is doing that and
like
kind of
if
getting
you're a
into the
hairstylist
nuances
and
of
show
that.
up with like not done hair every day. Okay, if you have a full clientele, you kind of already have that relationship, maybe. But then like what is that like showing off? But one of my examples is like if you want to specialize in something, so like for example, when I have extensions, so many more of my clients want extensions and I get more extension clients.
That doesn't even mean you're the one doing your own extensions, but you are walking advertising
because you have them and you can speak to them, right? And then when like I'm a vivid specialist, I do a lot of vivid colors. But when I'm blonde, it seems like I have less of that, or I end up like a lot of my vivid clients end up going a little bit more natural. Like it's just kind of like what you're doing will kind of follow suit with how you're appearing, and you'll have more, I don't know, it's almost like you're controlling the narrative by how you show up. Yeah, because even I had a lot of pixie clients. That can be good and that could be bad. I grew my pixie out and I swear all of them grew theirs out. Like, it's not like I'm like controlling their brain, but like maybe just our timing kind of flows the same and we're all on the same page. But yeah, like I don't have as many pixie clients now, like because my hair is longer. But I do have a lot of like wolf cuts and mullets and things like that, right? And it could just be trends because I follow trends sometimes, I guess, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that, so my kind of journey with like the way that I look, which by the way, funny that we're talking about this today because both of us are like.
Tea. I'm like,
still
share the tea.
We both were like, we're not ready today. And I'm like, well, if we have to get perfectly ready every time we do a podcast, then we just like wouldn't just like get her done. But also this is all about just like the unfiltered, right? Like this is
this isn't like showing up in the beauty business. This is showing up in our real lives to talk about our industry. Yeah, exactly. It's separate.
So I'm like, it's fine.
So how we show up for the look the part episode.
I know. I'm like, I mean, let's be real. I'm pretty cash most of the time, but like that is.
But you have a clean aesthetic face. You have full lashes. You have the things that you provide for your clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Where like if I had like
advertising
gross faded makeup. Color with a bunch of like roots that weren't intentional, you know what I mean? Or like. Yeah. If it just looks like unkept and undone, then it doesn't make sense. So at one point, side note, Ulta even changed their rules because I know when we worked there, you had to wear like minimum 3 pieces of makeup on your face.
Then it's like you're done enough that you look weird if you don't finish the job.
Like just do your full face.
Because you had to wear foundation. Was one of them.
Yeah, but they changed it.
2 other things.
So now it's either like makeup or like a clean aesthetic face.
Yeah.
Because you can't just come with like yesterday's makeup or like look gross, right?
Yeah.
But like because the skincare movement was so big, it's like, okay, you can come with no makeup, but just make sure you have like a clear, clean face and you're not just like,
yeah.
So,
and I think that like working at Ulta and other places before and even in school, like you had a lot of rules. You had to wear black and you couldn't have like pockets in your it's funny because we're going to circle back to our closets during this and what your comment was, right? Like you had to wear black, you couldn't have pockets, you had to do all these things that when I finally like left to go work at home, I went from being like to the tens, full faced, I didn't have to have my hair done. Actually, the brow bar, they said that you should have your hair up, but I didn't have it up every single day because I wanted to like look the part. It was
exhausting though. Yeah. And so I like stopped doing my makeup.
I think some of my clients didn't recognize me when I first left because I'd answer my door and I'm like, I wasn't in like my pajamas yet. we'll get there. Oh, but God. I wasn't in like black and I wasn't dressed up. I was like in leggings and a t-shirt. Like I was a little bit more casual than they were used to. But that's like also like what I was transitioning into. I was leaving the makeup world where like the skincare was the side note to that. And I was going into like wanting to be a master esthetician and wanting to be like skincare. And so I think that fit for me. But yeah, like once my clients were coming to me for a long time or they're coming at 7 a.m., like I'm not in a bra, you're not in a bra, we're in our jammies. Like it got pretty casual. And then I think that opening up the studio was really like where all of this kind of like was tricky, right? Because I wanted to open a studio where people could come like be who they are. I'm fully booked. I'm turning away clients. I want to open a studio so I have somebody to send them to, but also my studio, I wanted to have people that did different things as well. Like some that did the same things, like there's crossover, but I'm like, my clients are like, when are you going to learn Botox? Well, I can't do Botox unless if I'm a nurse here in Utah, like you can't do it as a master, even with a medical director over you. And so I'm like, I'll have a nurse come on, right? So it's like, let's fill the holes that I don't provide. Yeah. And so but also like you're taking people and you want to make sure I'm a rule follower, like you're following all the rules of like employee versus independent contractors versus like booth runners, which are essentially independent contractors, right? They're their own business. Right. And they are allowed to do what they want to do and show the way they want to show up. I didn't come in my pajamas ever to the studio. But also if I checked the schedule, nobody else is in. I have a client that I last minute want to pop in and get, or maybe one person's there. It's kind of like up to me if I want to do that. But that does reflect on the other people, which did become a problem, not necessarily with me. I don't know. We'll get there. But like with other people showing up in a certain way and we're all there and they show up that way and people being concerned of what that shows. And I think it affected me less because I'm like, I'm fully booked no matter what I look like, no matter what I show up like. But I think that we were in this transition of I'm going so far into like the different corners that I don't even remember where I started and where I was supposed to end. But I think it was hard because like people wanted a certain look, but they wanted me to enforce that look on them. And I'm like, I'm not going to enforce something that I don't want to do myself and that I've talked to my clients about. And they were actually like anti this. And one of the reasons why they come to me is because I make them feel comfortable by making this feel less like super high med spa. Right. And just more homey and more comfortable. Like we have places like that. If that's your vibe, go there. This is the vibe here. And that goes for workers and that goes for clients. Like if this isn't your vibe at the end of the day, and you want to go somewhere else, like I'm never going to be like mad that you're leaving depending on the state in which you leave.
But I think it goes to say too, like, whatever the vibe is, right, is what it should fit. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be clients for whatever that aesthetic vibe, whatever is for your space. But like still showing up in at least a semi-professional way, right? Yes. Like you're still acting professional. Yes. You're not wearing close to nothing. Yeah. You're not wearing pajamas. Like I mean, unless your space is like, come here, we wear lingerie, fine. Maybe that's your vibe.
Yeah.
But like,
no, but I think
but then your clients know that's what to expect.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, when you have all these different levels of like people's expectations of like, we want to dress like a medical spa and wear scrubs, and like we want to dress more business professional in a blazer, jammies. And like we want to show up in jammies with stains on them and my breast milk. I don't know. Yeah.
I won't go that far, but
it's just like,
but there were situations where I'm trying to like not say we have to be this extreme. My clients don't really care. Why do people care so much about what people are doing? But also like, I'm a people pleaser and I do get where they're coming from. So how do we like make everybody happy? But I also can't be like, hey, you signed a contract that said like that didn't have a dress code, and now all of a sudden I have to. Yes. Number 1, good hygiene. Mm-hmm. Number 2, show up in semi-professional, like in what the world that you're doing. Like I said, like clean face, full lashes, right? Like upkept and nice for what you're presenting. I like to wear a little bit more makeup. Some days I wear less, and it's fine. I'm not doing makeup or skincare. Yeah. But I have to make sure I style my hair. Yeah. Because if I show up and my hair is just like bedhead and I'm like, yo, I'm here rocking it, which I've done. I used to wear my beanie all the time. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as I left Ulta and I didn't have to get ready, like, okay, I'm throwing on a hat. I'm barely doing any like a mascara because my lashes are blonde, whatever. But I also learned like, I feel like I did lose a few clients then. And then it's also, you kind of lose like the respect of like, you don't look the status and like skill set that you want. And so it kind of dies down. And so I had to be like, okay, if I'm doing hair, I need to make sure my hair is upkept. I need to make sure my hair is styled. Yeah. At a minimum. Yeah. We both had beanies that we bought that said bad hair day. I don't know what happened to mine. I think I still have mine, but Ben might have thrown it away. He's like, I hate when you wear that hat. I'm like, I think it's funny. It is funny. But yeah, we ran into a couple extremes because there was no real set rules that like I did on my like future contracts when I was having people resign. Like left it kind of like, you need to be clean and professional. You get to decide what that means for you. But if it becomes something of a concern for me or other people, I have the right to like have that conversation. Express it. Like kind of like, yeah, because there was girls showing up that like looked like they hadn't washed their hair in 2 weeks. One girl literally told me that she hadn't brushed her hair in a couple weeks. I'm like, we can tell. Like she had it in a messy bun, but it wasn't like a cute messy bun, you know? We had one girl show up in like sweat, like jammy sweats and a shirt that didn't match with like dog hair all over her. And I'm like, if you want to do that at 11 p.m. when nobody else is here because your client doesn't not the care, animal hair. then that's fine. But good hygiene, clean clothes. Yeah. We'll add another mark to that. It's like, if nobody else is here and it's your client, it's a time, like, I would look at the schedule during certain times, but like, hey, is anyone else there? Not necessarily because of how I dress, but if I had to, like, bring Maverick with me for a couple minutes and stuff like that, I'm like, what's going on at the studio? Who might I be disrupting if I show up with my child or show up looking homeless or whatever, right? And so I was always very conscious of that. I'm just kidding. No. No. And so, anyway, it was tricky. So like we did have to set some boundaries there, but it's also like, what boundaries did I want to set and enforce? And I'm like, you're welcome to wear scrubs every day if that's what you want, but I'm not going to require that. But that doesn't mean we can't make some sort of rule or improvement on like a baseline for everybody, which I didn't think needed to be on the contract because I felt like that was common sense. And it was not. It was not common sense. Everything needs to be in a contract. There's no such thing as common sense. We learned. It's like I laugh because I tell people like this, like I go through my contracts with them so that people understand what they're signing up for. And the people are like, you can tell they're like, why does that even need to be on there? I'm like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Probably. There is if it's on there, there is a reason. Well, it's like, would you go to a tattoo artist that has like a bunch of like shitty stick and pokes from their basement and like, yeah. They just like look like none of their tattoos look really good. Yeah. Are they necessarily doing their own? Maybe, but probably not. But still, it's just like the appearance of like people will be like, oh, I love your hair.
Like, I want you to do mine.
Yep.
I'm like, well, wouldn't you want to go to who does my hair? No, because they're looking at you.
Yeah. And they know you do
it.
hair and they trust. It's about trusting your judgment, because I don't let people do my lashes that I know that is not going to do a good job on my lashes.
Exactly.
Or that it's going to damage my lashes, right? So I make sure. And not that I go to like, I mean, I've gone to a lot of girls, and I've gone to even some new girls that I have trained, because I know that I've trained them in a certain way. And I know I can be like, hey, do this better, whatever, right? But I also know that the baseline is still like higher than what other people are trained on and stuff. So I'm like, I trust them. It doesn't mean that they're going to be 100% how I do them yet, but I also know they're not going to F it up.
Right.
And so like, you are walking advertisement for yourself. So if you have shit lashes, people aren't going to go to you.
Right.
And maybe they love your lashes and that's how you do lashes. And maybe you'll still be like somewhat successful, but eventually, like with information being so accessible by the general public through social media, like misinformation and good information,
right?
Though, that it is accessible, like people are figuring out when it's not looking the way that it's supposed to, which kind of drives like the next half of this conversation, which is like constructive criticism, not just with the way that you look necessarily and what you're advertising with the way that you look, but the way that you're doing things and being okay and open to just that feedback.
Enjoy that cat
view.
bum in the camera. Would you sit down for me? Thank you.
So like in this industry, everyone's at a different level of what they're good at, what they're not good at, what they're comfortable at, what they probably shouldn't be so comfortable at. And also like your artistic eye and what you like visually, and that might not be the same, but also your experience level. Like I have girls that are like so confident with something and I'm like, I'm not so confident that you should be that confident.
Right.
Right. Cause I know.
Take it down a couple
I've
notches.
been doing this. Humble yourself.
Have some humble pie.
But this is why it's important to like always have some humble pie, right? Like you might be overly confident on something that you're not doing right, and you need to be able to take that feedback and say, do they have a point, or are you just going to get defensive?
Quick plug, don't ever be confident that you're the best at anything.
Period. You're not.
Never.
We're not the best.
There's always something more to learn.
Always.
You don't. And as soon as you think you're the best or you know it all, you're 10 steps behind.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. And the more you know you don't know.
Yep.
And so like, as I continue to learn in my industry, like people are always like, you know so much, you're so smart. I'm like, I don't know anything.
Stop learning. Yeah.
But that's because I'm always open to like, even though I think I'm really good at what I do, I take other classes. I try to push myself. And that doesn't mean that there aren't times where I'm like, I have a full clientele. My clients are all happy. Why do I need to change what I'm doing? Like I will become complacent during time periods, but then I'm like, no, like I'm seeing this other work that's so different than what I do and so wonderful. Like, even though my clients are happy, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be like ever going to want to switch it up or not open to like letting me try some of these new techniques on them. And so then I'll like go through this push where I'm like trying these new techniques on everybody and seeing what I like and seeing what works.
Well, it's always an ever evolving industry. Like, you could be the best at something, but then there's now a new technique or there's now a new, like, it's just, it's always changing.
I had a student at one point who was really upset because it was after she was done with basics, but she was learning masters. So she was doing some of these things on her own now. But I was still like her teacher, and I'm always kind of like a teacher, right? Like we know this. And I could tell that she was taking a client and that client, I could feel the room. That client wasn't confident in what was happening. And so I tried to kind of come over and be like, and just like kind of reinforce like the positive, like, yes, this is what's being done, because she even told her like, oh, like, well, I'm graduated with this one, but I'm still in school for this other thing. Right. And so she's kind of talking to that, and I'm the instructor. And so I'm like kind of just trying to like be there to help. And then after the fact, she was like really upset because she felt like that negatively affected the client's confidence. And I'm like, the client was not confident and she didn't realize that and then she was upset because she's like, I feel really comfortable with this. I don't need your help. And I'm like, okay. Less like
but actually
go in and that's part of learning. Like when your clients aren't coming back to you, you're probably not doing something. And that's okay. That's what we're learning in this industry. But like not every client's going to come back to you. It might not be because of how well you did. It might just be your personality.
And don't be a victim. Like,
yeah,
be open to that constructive criticism and learn, and maybe even call those clients back and ask for the feedback.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm doing a survey. I want to know about your experience, what I could do better, things like that. And maybe some of them will, because of that, will give you another chance and come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they don't, you're able to like apply those principles to your next clients and build on it.
I've had clients that had really shitty, we'll say lashes. Most of the time lashes. I'm thinking of one specific lash client too, but I know that this happened with other things. They'll have like somebody that's not doing a really great job, and you're not gonna like be like, they didn't do a really good job, and so you don't really like tell them. But then because you don't tell them because like their best friend did it. This is another client also, lash though. Like, right? Like all these like nuances
you don't want to shit talk on
you
other
don't want to
professionals.
shit talk on other professionals, but they also don't always understand why what you did doesn't look the same as what their friend did. And that's because you did it the right way, but they liked the way that it looked when it wasn't done right, which is damaging and more risk for infection and all these other problems. And so like the 1 3-star review we had, that was one of those situations where one of my girls like didn't know how to have that conversation because we knew she'd been going to a friend. We knew she was getting charged practically nothing, but she wanted a hybrid. They looked like mega volumes when she came in, and then they were all glued together, and she's like, I can't properly attach without doing some like manual removal. But then the more I remove, the harder it is to still keep her within that hour that she said she had and like get her as full she wants. And
I think that's part of like the expectation and conversation, and like, we don't want to shit talk other professionals. There's a way to do it without being like, wow, they don't know what they're doing. This is so shitty, whatever. But you can be like, oh, well, it looks like there's a few things here, like because of the way the glue sticking or whatever, I'm going to have to actually remove most of these, which is going to take us more time to fill it back in.
And it might not look as full when you leave.
Yeah, and have those conversations that explain that. But then, like, they're like, oh, so the last person who did it messed up all these things without you, like, specifically stating.
Yeah. There are ways to approach that, but in this...
Or be like, oh, well, I wouldn't do it that way because... And then educate them why you wouldn't do X, Y, Z... and how it would benefit them more to do it differently. And then they'll start to like click and learn and realize, oh, the last person did it this wrong way, whatever, right?
Yeah. So there's like ways to approach it. But when you get that review, we got like the 3-star review, we got to learn like, well, we probably should have had that conversation. Maybe she would have been upset about it and left a bad review because she was upset that we said something. Like whatever it ended up being, we were able to take that and dissect it. Like what could we have done better? But also like we still are happy with the actual set that we did on her, or the fill that we did on her. It wasn't about our technique. It's like maybe we could have had a different conversation with her. And so taking that and being like, what pieces of this can I learn from, even though I'm still like really confident in the skill, maybe we should have brought something up in the consultation. Maybe we should have had that hard conversation with her, but we didn't really know her. Like it was a newer girl. She didn't really feel comfortable having that conversation in that moment. And I think in her brain, she was like panicking, and there were some other things too, but like you get to take that constructive feedback and don't reject it immediately, but also to be like, this was a weird situation and I get why they feel like that, but I still think that I did everything that I would have done, and I don't think I would have done anything different. But explore the possibility of what you could have done different or what you can do different going forward. Because constructive criticism from clients, even if they're not always right, like, you can take that and not be like, well, I did everything perfect by maybe the set was perfect. Maybe the consultation wasn't. Maybe both of them were perfect and they just were really used to their crappy ones. And that's really what they wanted to go back to. And so that's a layer.
Sometimes though too, when they do something crappy and then they get something good and then they go back to crappy because they're like, well, that was cheaper and better and whatever. They'll sometimes, well, I feel like most of the time, but not always, they'll go back to the other not so great, and then they'll tell the difference. Because sometimes you can't tell the difference from when you go crappy to good. Because it's just like, oh, well, what's the difference? It's yeah, it works. It's great. Like, for example, I had a friend who just used like the shittiest shampoo and like hair products. And I was like, you can't use these. Use this. And so I had gifted her some professional products to help upkeep her hair, whatever. And she liked them. She's like, oh, this is so good. I love it. Whatever. Right. But then when she ran out, she went and got her crappy shampoo again. Cause she's like, I don't want to spend money on that. And like, it's shampoo. It all works the same. And as soon as she used that like product that she had previously used and was fine with after using good stuff for a while, she was like,
you don't realize how much.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want to tell you this, but I'm telling you this because I did something and I realized like, I didn't realize that it was like that much better until she went back to the crappy. Yeah. So sometimes you'll lose the client, they'll leave, but then sometimes they come back because they're like, actually, it was better.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a story about constructive criticism tied with looking the part.
Get your teacups out, everybody.
I'm like, I don't know how far down the rabbit hole.
And I'm like, you probably don't
this
have to
could
go
be
full detail,
a 1 hour plus story, but we're gonna try to keep it. We're gonna keep it tight. We're gonna keep it tight. Okay, so I had a friend that was working at the studio at some point, and like, she may listen to this. She may not listen to this. I'm gonna assume she won't because, spoiler alert, we are not currently friends.
It's like when you move in with your like best friend as roommates and then you have a huge falling out because it always happens, and it's like
it didn't happen with us.
Well, I know, but like
yeah, I get it.
It's a common thing when you move in with your friends, and then it's all the nuanced things.
That's
same
like
with like working with friends.
Yeah, it can be hard.
It's like if you don't figure out the little things that trigger each other and whatever, and you just hate each other, then you're no longer friends.
Yeah.
Or you move in together and you're besties forever.
Yep. Us. That's us. We've worked together, we've lived together, and we're still besties.
We just vibe enough. I think we're similar enough,
same, but opposite.
Yeah, that we don't have to like drive each other nuts.
Yeah. So
like you're not cleaning up everything behind me as I go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop it. And you're like, anyway. Love you.
So like I did have a lot of friends and I guess I've had a couple family members in one way or another work there, but you know, you want to help everybody. Some people are like new getting their foot in the door. And I'm like, we all have to start somewhere. We all have to learn somewhere, right? And so like, it doesn't bother me having new people, but like, you have to be open to constructive criticism. And so there was a couple like things, I'm trying to like keep it short, and I'm like, my brain's going like this. Okay. So after a while, she was not getting a lot of customers, and partly because she decided to do a specific service that I didn't really know a lot about. And she kind of had this like idea that I was going to be just like sending her all these people. And I'm like, I told you for this other service that I know that I have clients that want this, but I didn't promise that they would leave their other Botox person to come to you. But then she was also doing filler. And I'm like, I didn't know a lot about filler. I was anti-Botox and filler to a degree actually at the time. And I've educated myself and now have like learned the difference, learn what all these things are and what goes wrong with it. Right. And this was part of me educating myself. But I'm like, I don't really know, like, if my clients want that. And I've never promised anyone anything. I'm like, this is your business and you're responsible for that. So she would verbalize to me that she understands that when we would talk about it. But then she'd talk to other people that would then come tell me that she was like upset that she wasn't getting more people. So one day she comes in, she wants more lip filler. She's going to like this girl and they're going to trade and do it on each other because they're both newer and practicing and stuff like that. And I had been educating myself about like filler migration because I'm trying not to go down the rabbit hole, but like I'm like, why don't people like filler? Because we've all seen people walking around that you're like, ugh, like the people with the frozen face, the people that don't look like themselves anymore, right? Like, why does that happen? Well, guess what? You don't notice all the people getting it when it looks good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're only noticing the people where it has gone too far and it does look bad, right? And so I'm educating myself on why that happens so that I can reassure my clients, like, if you go get this done, like this is how it works. Cause that's kind of my thing. Like, I like to educate my clients so that they feel confident in like making a decision
The
too.
what, the why, the how,
Yeah. And so like I was talking to another injector that I know really well that is a lot like me, where we have to know everything about everything before we feel even like remotely comfortable.
That's why she's
offering it. Spoiler alert, she's our injector. She's still our injector. But that didn't mean I like favored her by any means at the time, right? Because I had gone to my other girl for Botox, and I did have her do my filler at one point because I wanted to experience it as well. I like to experience things if I'm going to be selling it to other people. And so she wanted me to take a before picture. And so I literally was there. She's like, your camera on your phone's way better. I'm like, that's because you have an Android. Sorry, not sorry.
The shade.
I also like purposely get like the iPhone Pro with like the extra camera.
I do too.
Stuff
and
like
extra
that
storage
because
space.
It's what we need.
And then I still have people that are like, no, this specific phone actually has a better camera.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's fine. It's good enough.
Regardless of what I've seen, iPhone wins every time.
Yep. So I take a picture of her lips before. And then she like goes and gets it done. She's bruised. She's swollen. That happens, whatever. But I'd already been kind of learning about filler migration. And I already questioned, like, does she have some migration? And this is also like what people verbalize their biggest fear is. And so I'm like, this is how you avoid that. You can still get this really pretty look, but this is like what you need to notice, when you need to stop. And your injector should notice that and advise you to not get it done or to dissolve. And yes, that costs money, but that is part of it.
Yeah.
And they should tell you when they should be able to say no, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes and gets it done. And then after the swelling goes down and stuff, like we have a lot of people that we know, that we both know because I've known her since I was a child. And so our lives are very commingled.
Right.
And some of these people are in the industry and some of them are not, but like everyone is expressing their opinions on the way that it looks. And it starts becoming a concern. And then people,
like you said, people only notice when it goes bad.
Yeah. And so then like she was my model when I was learning like nano brows. And I'm like taking her after pictures of her eyebrows, and I get this like full picture of her face. And I'm like, the lips. And I compared it to her before picture that I had that she had me take. And I'm like, I'm just really concerned. Like the thing is we'll get there. And so I just like became concerned, and I'm like, I started losing confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, I'm telling my client she's not going to do this to you.
But then she
to help her.
Yeah.
But how are they going to feel when they go to her and they're like, does Rachel not know that she looks like this? And is that going to make them lose trust in me if I'm sending them to her? Is she going to notice if they start migrating and tell them, no, I'm not going to inject you? Or is she like, no, I could use the money and still do it? Right? Like there's all these different levels and layers of like, I don't know what to do about this. So like, nobody was going to tell her and nobody wanted to go to her.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to do your lashes and it looks really natural and you have like crazy caterpillar lashes. People are going to be like,
and if people like that look, like they love how full it is, like that's your clientele. But I just felt like our clientele was very much like, they want to look natural. They want to look they're already hesitant about going into that.
They want to like enhance a little bit of what they already have, but not like, full blown.
Like, and that's just what I notice about our personal clientele. Right. And so I'm like, it just might not be a good fit. But at the end of the day, she's upset that she's not getting more clients. We don't feel like we can send her people. Who's going to have that conversation with her?
The owner.
And I'm like, I feel like I have to be the one to tell her. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and say, like, everyone thinks you look like shit and they're talking behind your back. Right. But at the same time, like, I feel like it's getting aggressive enough, like the background noise around it, that like, I feel like I'm doing her a disservice if I don't have that conversation, because I want her to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want her to do well. And if we're all losing confidence, then I just don't think that this is the place for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want the end result to be her leaving. I wanted the end result for her to be like, you know what, I love the way that I look, but I'm happy to like explain that to my clients. Right. So I like,
be like, I know that this look is whatever and it's not for everybody. I've done a lot of other things and keep it more natural and whatever. And then you can like show your work.
Yeah.
But you just have to be able to speak to it.
Yeah, exactly. Acknowledge, because
I know I don't have extensions right now, but I've had every single type. I've done all the things. I can speak to it. I know about it.
Yeah.
I've experienced it.
Yeah. And even our current injector, like, she knew she had filler migration the more that she researched it. And so she owned it. She's like, yeah, I just haven't dissolved it yet. I don't know if I'm going to, like, whatever. Like, it is what it is. Before she knew what was happening, she didn't realize that she had been over injected, and that maybe the last maybe couple people that injected her should have said, let's dissolve first. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, we're all learning at the same time, and I'm just like, I feel this like pressure that I like have to have that conversation with her. And it's like really difficult to have. And this is like before ChatGPT. It was like 4 years ago. Maybe it was around, but not.
Tell me what to say.
Tell me what to say. How do I handle this? But I feel like, honestly, I couldn't have done the conversation better than I did. But essentially I was like, I need to have a talk with you. I had tried to have the talk in person, but she wasn't in enough for me to see her. And I'm like, the further along it goes, I feel bad that she's paying me money to be here, but like that we're not able to help her, even though that's not really my job. I just felt so terrible about it that I did send her a text about it. So sorry, not sorry, but it is what it is. And I just was like, hey, I just am like, I want to help you be successful. And I don't know what it said. It was a little lengthier than this, but the gist of it was like, if you like the way that this looks, that is the most important thing. And that's what matters the most. But as somebody that wants to feel confident in sending you people,
Mm-hmm.
and where this is a concern that people are bringing up, that they're hesitant about getting it because of this, like, I just feel like I need to like have a conversation with you about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she blew the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like very offended. And my husband was like, you can't bring up someone's appearance and like
when
say
that's
that.
The
but I'm
industry
like,
you're
like,
in.
how do you not when this is what we do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, we need our clients to feel confident. And I didn't feel good about continuing to like take her money in this way, even though it was like $100 a month. Like, literally, it's like she was barely paying for any time at the studio. But I like wanted to help her. I wanted to, but I'm like, she's not going to be successful here unless if she can at least acknowledge something.
Yeah.
So she
have to be open
doubled down that nothing was wrong and was super offended. She was like, you're just trying to kick me out. And I'm like, I'm not trying to push you out. Like, I want to help you. I'm doing this because I want you to help you be successful. She like went on and on about, I don't even remember what, like these messages got lengthy, and I just kept it cool. I'm just like, are you open to the possibility?
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you double down that they look fine when they certainly look like they could potentially have migration, if you're not even open to the possibility, that only reinforces my doubt, right? Like, if you're like, I mean, I love the way that they look, but I can see what you mean, but I'm happy to have that conversation, because I wasn't asking her to change it.
Right.
I wasn't asking her to do anything about it, but I'm just like, hey, like, I just
acknowledge it.
Feel like there's some, like, that we need to have this conversation. She was super upset. She was actually venting to my other injector about it, who then was telling me about it, which my other injector was part of who brought it to my attention, because we would send each other stuff even before she had gotten that other injector, to just like learn about it. And, because she was like hesitant about learning it. And and whatever, right? And so like we were already in the process of following like world-renowned injectors and like learning about it. And so then it got as far as like my other injector that did not have, well, that did, but was acknowledging her overfilled lips, like reached out to a really high up trainer that she knew in Utah, sent the before and after. And she's like, yeah, that is what it looks like. So then this other girl and her medical director reach out to her and like argue with her. And I think finally she was like, sure, it could be the way that your muscles are. But like she was using before pictures of her smiling where her lips looked different. And I'm like, but when you compare her not smiling picture, anyways, the whole thing. And so it blew up into this whole thing. And she obviously left upset. It's been 4 years. She has not really talked to me since. I mean, there's been a couple of times where she's tried to reach out. But I'm like, there were a lot of other layers, but like essentially like I don't need this person in my life for a lot of different reasons. I wish her the best. I wish her well. She's not injecting anymore. She decided to try to do it from home and was unsuccessful in doing so. And that's probably like for the better, but she's a great nurse, I'm sure, doing what she does. But she did like added layer that has nothing to do with the story, but kind of funny, because we still know a lot of the same people. She mentioned to somebody that she would talk to me about whatever was going on in her life. She would just tell me about it if I would just apologize to her, and that we could just be friends again if I would apologize to her. And I'm like, if you are waiting for, and if you're listening,
if you're waiting for an apology, it's never coming.
Yep. It's not coming. I'm like, I think I did the best that I could with the situation. I kept my cool. I was like, if you love it and if you don't want to change it, that's fine.
Right.
But like, I
acknowledge that this could be a concern of clients.
Yeah.
And be able to talk through it. That's it.
Yep. And so I wasn't asking her to change anything or whatever. I'm like, I think that I did the best I could. And I wish she would have been more open to the feedback, that it wasn't just coming from me. It wasn't me trying to push her out. It was me telling her what everyone was saying behind her back, but without saying everyone's saying it behind your back. Now,
Do her lips still look the same?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. She did like get pregnant shortly after that. So I think that she obviously didn't get it for a long time during like pregnancy and stuff like that. But I don't know now, like if she has it, if she doesn't. And she ended up like later on venting to the other injector about like body dysmorphia and how like that's a part of it. And I'm like, then own it. Then own that that's what it was, right? Like, you get so used to looking a certain way that when you just barely start seeing those lips deflate, you want more, or the body or whatever it is. Like, just say that. Like, I really like the way that they look, but I understand. Like, I don't know. But I'm like, how do you? That's fine. And so I'm like, we're not friends. Yeah, she wanted to give me baby clothes and I didn't even respond to her. I'm like, I don't need your things. Thanks though. Bye. I didn't respond. And so then she reached out to my sister. I'm like, we're not even friends. Yeah, but I'm like, I deserve an apology actually.
She probably already forgives you, but then like wants you to apologize, which you're not, like, you don't have to. But it's like she's just like sad about the friendship and is like,
it was I think it was like her way of giving me an olive branch, but I'm like, no, like how you treated me. Like I tried to be like, I love you, you're my friend, like, but I am an owner and I do feel like, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way. The way that she reacted and the way the accusations made, I'm like, I just, you know, I've been walked on a lot and I'm learning that at some point, like, the ends don't always justify the means, and that there were other layers to like her friendship that like I just am not in a place where I need to I don't need
you don't need to keep everyone in your life.
Yeah. And maybe one day we will be friends again. I don't know, but I'm like right now I'm like I'm good. I'm busy. I'm happy. I've got people. And I don't need drama. So I don't need more drama than what my life already is.
Okay, I have a really short story.
Okay, good. Because mine was too long.
Mine's just short. And I was thinking of it because it's like, we're talking about appearance and all of that. Once upon a time, Chavaun shaved her head.
We love this.
I had always wanted to shave my head. Honestly, like it was something I talked about since like junior high. But then Britney Spears did it, and it was like a mental health crisis thing. And then it was like associated with that. So then anyway, I just never ended up doing it. Right. And I've had so many different hairstyles. And then the person I used to model for had reached out and was like, hey, I want to do this like really interesting concept. But basically at the end of the shoot, are you open to shaving your head? And I was like, for the right price, yes, which was actually probably lower than most people would do it for. But, you know, it was fun. So I shaved my head. And then I was like, well, if it's all the way buzzed down, like when else am I ever going to experience like a fully bald head? Unless something happens. But like,
yep.
Hopefully I don't ever have to deal with that. But I was like, let's do it. So I shaved it down, like straight razored it to like just like bald. Quick side note, Rachel gave me the best like scalp facial ever. And I need to hook you up with Taryn because I was telling her about this and I was like, now that your head shaved, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was amazing. My scalp's never felt better. And sometimes I'm like, do I want to shave my head again just to do that? Literally.
I know. I'm like, I'm curious about that period.
It's amazing.
If anyone can pull off a bald head, I mean, if you have cancer, then I guess like
I think most people can. You just
but I'm like,
can't.
I think I couldn't, but I'm like, Chavaun was so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm like, the shoots that you did, I'm like, who else can pull
I would
this off
prefer
in this
to never
way?
do it again because just like grow out and all of that.
Yeah.
But I was convinced I'd wear like different wigs all the time and like have fun with it. And I wore my wigs like maybe 5 times. So it was just like over it. So I mostly just rocked the bald head. Taryn pulls it off really well too. Here's my theory. Everyone's like, oh, you have such a perfectly round head. It looks so great. If I did that, it would look crazy. Here's the thing. Our brains make things up when we can't see it, right?
Yeah.
So when you're feeling around on your head, you're like, oh, here's a flat spot and here's this weird angle and here's this. So then like in your head, it's like my head's this weird shape.
Yeah.
And then you shave it and it's like, oh, actually that's just like the shape of a human head and it appears round. Yes, some people might have funky shaped heads and it looks weird, but for the most part, you can probably pull it off. Anyway, I shaved my head. I was working at Ulta at the time. And then this guest was asking for some advice on some curling irons. And so she's like, you know, do I go with this or this? And I was just giving her all this advice based on like her hair type and the length of her hair and the type of curl she's looking for and all of that. And while I'm speaking to her, it's like, she's just like I can tell like she's not absorbing anything that I'm saying. And I'm just like reiterating a few things to let her know like, this is the curling iron I recommend, or here are some options based on what you're asking for. And then when I'm like done and I'm just like standing there and she's just staring at me and I'm just like waiting and she just goes, but you're bald, or like, but you don't have hair or something like that. And I was just like, yep. Well, I've had hair and I do hair, so I do know what I'm talking about. But it's just that thing of like my appearance made her immediately distrust that I knew how to talk about a curling iron.
Even though she literally like does hair all day.
She pulled me from the salon.
Yeah.
Because I'm a stylist. But then it was like her brain was like, couldn't compute that I would know how to talk about a curling iron because I didn't have hair.
Yeah.
And she was just like, but you're bald. I'm like, yes, currently I am. So that's just like another fun little story of like, your appearance will sway how people see and trust you.
Even if it's like not applicable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't think it's
like
applicable.
Clearly I do hair, but I don't have hair right now. So
you're like, I have cancer. Thanks. Just kidding.
Well, a lot of people thought I did because I shaved, like I straight razored balded it.
Yeah.
And then I felt like kind of guilty and just like weird because people, like a couple of people offered to like buy my food when I was out. Someone, like one of my friends from that I hadn't seen or talked to in a long time had like commented on one of my posters like, you're so strong and so beautiful and like all these things. And I'm just like,
guys, I don't have cancer.
Yeah, I'm like, stop assuming that I'm sick. Like I have not posted or said anything about that. And I get like strangers, they're not going to know my story, but like for a random friend to reach out and just say that without being like, hey, is there a reason you're bald?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And then I feel bad because I'm like,
So
I know we all react that
free
way.
Meals,
Shake your head.
Well, I don't want people to like. I feel like
I wanted to get a shirt that said, "I'm not sick. I just shake my head."
Yeah.
But it also made me think too. This is like completely off topic side note, but like maybe some people love it and indulge in it. But for me, like if I was truly sick and like going through that, I would be annoyed at the type of like attention and like. Yes, the positivity is great. Yes, like whatever. But I feel like it would just be a lot. Like you're already dealing with a lot. And then all these random strangers and people are just like, oh my God, let me buy you lunch. And like, oh, you're so strong and beautiful. I'm just like, ew, who are you to tell me that?
Last night. And this is going to take a weird turn, a little dark turn.
Oh, no.
Like when you're a mother of children, like your biggest fear is like your children dying. And then also like added layer that like, one of my like really close clients, her dog died and she's like, I feel like I've lost a child. And I'm like, oh, my heart's breaking. So one of my other clients said that she was talking about how her dog's sick and they're hoping it's got a couple more years. Anyway, so then like naturally when I like get off work and I have a migraine and I go lay down, like my brain's just like processing the day. And I go down the rabbit hole of like, if one of my children died, like I would be so like, when somebody has somebody die, sometimes you don't know what to say to them. And I'm like, I think I would be so overwhelmed by people reaching out. Like, I almost like want nobody to say anything, nobody do anything. Like, don't text me or call me and say like, you're sorry for my loss. I'm like, I don't know, because I've never actually been through it. But I'm like, I think that like, yeah, that would be so like like, you don't want to deal with that. Even like in the hospital at times with, Sawyer and being in the NICU and stuff like that. Like there were times where I'm like, I don't want to update everybody all the time. And it got a little overwhelming. And so, I mean, sometimes I would just like shoot out a post to be like, this is the update, guys. Yeah. But, anyway, I'm like, yeah, it's weird because I'm like that too, but maybe other people really like and need that support. But like, I think I would be like, maybe leave me alone. Like let me cry in my bed forever. And then when I do, if I ever resurfaced, like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. If you want to just send me money, fine, but like don't talk to me.
Raise a GoFundMe because like I don't know how parents survive like a child dying. And so
I don't know if they do.
I don't.
Like obviously they survive.
They might survive.
But they're not the same. Like when you go through something so traumatic, like you're not ever the same person.
Yeah. Like that version of
so a lot of times like the parents end up splitting because they just can't deal.
Yeah. And or other things that they don't survive. Yeah. But like, yeah, I'm like my brain just
but like, that version of who they am didn't or who they are doesn't survive. Yeah. Like they basically have like a death and then like
it just changes you
being a different person.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was definitely a dark turn.
skip through that.
Welcome to
but hey, that's the real and the raw.
Real,
like,
raw.
We are going through all of that with our clients sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like the ups and the downs and the loss of parents and the loss of pets and
kids and
siblings. I don't think I've ever had a really close client of mine lose a kid, but I had a client that was a friend of another client who only came into me once that did. And I was like, I cried with my client because anyway.
I had a client who lost their daughter, who I actually went to high school with. But she wasn't my client when she lost her daughter.
Yeah.
And this was years later, but she like still like, her whole identity was the fact that she lost her daughter and like blamed herself for it. Anyway.
This will be a really good
she had a mole
to another episode that we're going to
She had a mole that her mom like didn't really push to get it checked out and like waited too long and it ended up being cancer and killed her. And so then like the mom held like all this guilt of like, I didn't get it checked out soon enough, but like really it's not your fault. But anyway, yeah, it was like her whole personality and it was sad.
Yeah. Okay, we went down a rabbit hole.
We did.
But there's going to be some episodes that are heavy too. Yeah. So
some are heavy, some will be light and fun, but that's life. That's also the industry because this stuff comes up and like you have to carry it. And like you said, we have another fun topic and episode around all that.
Yeah, about like the weight of all of it. So
if you want to ask for advice, if you want to share any story, get some weight off your shoulders, if you want to just ask for us to talk about a specific topic, anything like that, just fill out our form on our Instagram.
And that is it. And if not, we'll just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, we'll just keep sharing our own stories because
we got lots.
15 plus years between the two, like separate.
Yeah.
So over 30 years.
Yeah, we've got
together
some things and stories and and also stories of like the other girls we've worked with too. So
yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's enough free business therapy for today. Thanks for making it this far down the rabbit hole.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow, rate, and share this podcast with your beauty besties.
If you have a client story, industry confession, or a business question you want us to talk about,
send it through the link on our socials.
Because honestly, the beauty industry gets weirder every day.
Find us at beauty.business.bullshit on Instagram and TikTok, or Beauty Business Bullshit on YouTube.
We are clocking out, but keeping the tea hot.
Until next time, may your clients pre-book and tip you accordingly.